So, I mean, it's still a good Night Stalker game, I'm going to say it.
Very single target at the moment from CIS Rejects as well. Shaman Bane, we saw, I believe, Eastern Europe really like their Beastmasters in particular, something that we haven't seen so much actually so far through the 2-2 finals, but something that's able to help take objectives because the Bane and Shaman will really lack ways to defend.
Actually, I'm going to walk back my Night Stalker pick. It's still good, but with something like a Razor still in the pool, especially when paired with a Bane or a Shaman, you probably don't want to go down that route just yet. If they could ban that out of the next phase and it's still somehow in the pool, I would really look to pick it up with the last pick overall. So, Navi more likely, in my opinion at least, to be going for something that's flexible. They might, probably can't Razor themselves actually.
What's the thing? They can pivot into a lot of different directions with this draft. Like Ember Coddle doesn't really reveal a lot, and they're the ones to go the Enchantress. So very good lane matchup into the Bane. Now there's your issues. We kind of were just mentioning that Shadow Shaman and Bane pretty single target. Maybe ways to take objectives was the look, but they just go the Chaos Knight route. So the Phantasm is going to be a big issue for CIS Rejects to deal with.
Going to go in response to this. I mean, the way that Team Spirit looked to respond to a Chaos Knight, I believe, it might have been a tiny, was the Sven. Just Sven seems great with the Warcry, just to protect all of your squishier units, and even just the cleave aspect to be able to take care of the Chaos Knight. You can oftentimes catch an Enchantress as well, just with the cleave damage coming through. And, you know, it's another stun to layer off over the top of an Ember Spirit as well. Timber's not bad, though. It's AoE damage against a strength hero like the CK. And they do have that pivot still, right? This could be a Chaos Knight 1, could be a Chaos Knight in the offlane.
It's a pretty good Timber game. They do not really have answers to it. I mean...
Very single target, yeah.
We did see a lot of farm given over to the Keeper Light in Game 1 for Sweden Strong. So he could get a very early Spirit Vessel, again, to kind of deal with the Timber, which I think is the only route you can really go down, because now CIS Rejects, they can protect the Timber. If you want to get rid of some of the trickier carry matchups, Ursa is one of the big ones, Monkey as well, but we don't particularly see the Monkey as much. In fact, they're actually going to try and target some offlane heroes.
I think they're just targeting things that give vision right now. Like, yes, they've got strong push, but you don't have the worst ways to defend against it with the Storm Spirit and Timbersaw. I think it's just prevent no one from having another fantastic game. I'm still feeling the Night Stalker. I'm going to say it. I know it's more physical damage, but the fact that you could take away the impact of potentially 3 heroes is pretty huge. Plus, amplify the impact of your Ember.
And we've always seen Eastern Europe as again, a region that prioritizes vision very heavily. So being able to play with that Dark Ascension, something that could be of a concern. See what CIS Rejects go with this last ban, and it will be that Night Stalker. So finally, it's taken care of. They will not have it available on Navi with the last pick. I would like to see a Timber answer. I feel like you kind of need that at the moment. Looking like a very good Timber game for Miro.
How would you even go?
10 seconds
Magic damage, offlane. Like, I'm still not sure if they want to go safe lane or offlane with this. It's actually a TA, okay. It does an okay job, I suppose, if you're able to get the initial jump, right? Just get that meld in onto her. You can actually use the Keeper of the Light to chakra again, so that you're able to get that double meld strike onto the Timber, and then the physical damage isn't even too much of a concern, right?
Bit scary as well, because Navi are going to come online very early. They've got great ways to open up the pit, so getting that early ages to take towers. So I think this hero going the cooldown dependent, to say the least, on the Faceless Void. They've got a decent amount of damage to dump inside the Chrono. That's not an easy lane at all from Ramses. You're into a stun, into the blast. It's not like you're going to be able to play too much off the back of the Time Walk sustain, so we'll see, but I think it might be a bit scary. This game, for me, it's all on Miro. Miro has to pop on CIS Rejects.
He needs to pop, and it's all about, again, we've seen from No One and Sweden Strong, they played so well together with, I believe, the Keeper of the Light and the Pangolier played together. It's going to be a similar sort of thing with the Ember Spirit, right? Pre-BKB for Ramses, you get those Searing Chains off onto him, he can't time walk away, you can get a big, Illuminate Blast into his face. So I'm really looking to see how that pair ends up playing together. Of course, Miro is the one to look at on CIS rejects. The other big thing is that first Roshan objective. We were talking about before that, you know, obviously Roger with the Shadow Shaman, you really want to be giving this one over to Depressed Kid just so that he's enabled to start making these aggressive plays, allow the greedier carry in the Faceless Void to come online. But NaVi with this Templar Assassin, with a Chaos Knight, with the Reality Rift, it's plenty of damage and minus armor that you can look to pump into Roche yourselves as well. So that's the real objective that I'm looking for them to play around.
Yeah, I think Navi have a really good read and understanding of how you look to play around with the Enchantress early. So this T1 tower is going to be on the pump super early on. You're going to have Enchantress moving over, collapsing. Maybe by the first catapult timing. Might be a bit difficult though because the Timber leaving that solo versus the Templar Assassin, but that's the ideal world for them to be able to collapse on mid, put a lot of pressure on the Storm Spirit before he's level 6, have Sweden Strong come as well. You just blast out the lane, take that early tier 1, and that can open up Roche for themselves. Because also Navi, they have ways to take Roche very, very easily. You have the threat of a triple meld with the Coddle being able to refresh abilities on the TA, so it's not like you're really waiting for the TA to open up, sorry, the Deso to open up the pit. So I think it's very similar. We were speaking a lot about the early game in game 1, and I think it's going to be exactly the same case in the second game. All eyes on Roshan and early towers.
Yes, for sure. I mean, if no one's able to, again, get a kill in a losing mid lane is pretty damn vital, right? Storm getting a kill on a TA doesn't really happen all the time. So let's see if he's able to do the same with his Ember. There's also the potential for the power rune rotation, right? Bane probably a little bit better at making the rotation than relative to the Shaman. But, of course, Enchantress, Coddle, they are pretty independent supports, you know, that want to be off stacking, that want to be off rotating, getting jungle creeps, making harass happen, pushing towers. So it's a real question of if they can multitask and do all of these things while also not leaving their core on an island. Speaking of the meld, Platoon is just melded inside the wave, waiting for someone to come to the lane for that free damage.
Yeah, well, look at this.
Switching these lanes
yeah,
up?
they're aggroing. So Bane and Shaman are quite some laning support. So is the Enchantress. But as long as you block the jungle, they haven't done that so far. Okay, how do you feel about this tri-lane? It's something that we really don't see often.
Is it even a tri-lane? Oh no, FNG's going back. You see the Timbersaw going top. I mean, Void's not amazing in a tri-lane, right? Like, in a tri-lane v tri-lane, maybe, because he's got the time dilation, you know? But I just don't think this is going to have the impact that they're hoping for.
We were speaking a lot about Miro, I think, being the big condition for CIS rejects. And if you give him a free lane versus Chaos Knight, which he will have a free lane, it's a melee strength hero, so there's not really much they can do about it. And well, V-Tune's not going to see that it's damn tri-lane, and V-Tune, he went for the wand and slippers, so it's a bit of an interesting style.
I mean, against a tri-lane, it's nice, all those spells being cast consistently. You're seeing as well Roger looking to try and block up as many camps as he can, along with the Bane. They're just using their bodies to do it, so Ward, Bane, Shaman. So he's going to need to go to the 5th option, and a Mud Golem's not bad.
By the time he gets to the lane, they won't have too much of the Mud Golem left. So that's the nice thing. Alright, let's... When do we feel like Sweden Strong is going to come down bottom to help out? Is he just looking to secure the early levels for Lays?
I think so. I think it's just making sure that you're harassing out Miro a little bit. I mean, you have the potential to get a kill onto this Timber, so it's still early. You still only got the 1 point in the reactive armor and nothing in Timber Chain just yet.
Do see how strong that Whirling Death can be in a matchup versus Strength Hero. So it's a lot of damage, but once he's able to find his levels, of course, Timber really likes playing solo, more throughout the later stages of the lane. He's definitely in a vulnerable spot where he can be killed off, but into this matchup, it might not be the case. So eyes on mid is Depressed Kid on the Storm Spirit and no one on the Ember. Looks like no one's off to a pretty flying start, but they're also going to be able to get both the Water Runes.
Yep. Very nicely done. I love that when supports coordinate with their mid laner and say, go for the rune that I'm not protecting. Even just getting a cheeky little harass in onto the press kit. That was after he made a stack of the Ancient Camp as well, so something that's going to accelerate the TA's farm, even if she doesn't have the greatest time in this tri-lane. But you can see Bane making a little bit of a rotation away. He's always going to take a decent amount of harass with this Blightstone and now the Warpine Raider.
Who's really happy with the start of this game? I know it's super early on, 2 minutes 30, but Vatoon's only got 7 last hits, and of course with CIS rejects, with a tri-lane, it feels like you've got to get a lot out of it at this stage, because it just, all of a sudden, your supports, you lose experience. Level 6 is really important at Dota at the moment. Often it can just be your playmaker and finding ways to be able to get kills and an angle back in.
You don't want to be ridiculously under-leveled, that's for sure. Particularly with these two, right? We were mentioning before the importance of having, like, just look at this. FNG's chasing solo, it's 3 minutes, and he doesn't have the Nightmare to be able to secure that bounty rune.
Who's not really winning the man fight at the moment, but so the Warpine Raider will step in. Or FNG now has no way to deal with these creeps. It's quite an issue, honestly, for the Bane, but we're seeing Sweet and Strong. He can really do whatever he wants on the Coddle. It's a triple stack of the Ancients. He was able to take the bounty on Dire's side, and he's just getting a little bit of farm for himself. So, wow, he's got an Orca queued up. So I was considering like maybe a Spirit Vessel to help deal with the Timber, but Orca first.
Not an Orca model. I mean, just have a look at the net worth, though. Timber has less net worth than this Chaos Knight when he's been left solo this entire time, getting a lot of experience, and Coddle's actually level with him because he's got no pressure. He can jungle. When's the last time we've seen a jungle 4, except in low priority?
I don't know what happens. Sometimes you got an Enchantress, you're like, oh yeah, I don't really need to be in the lane right now. Let me get some good creeps, a little bit of losses, a little bit of experience. I think Miro will be fine. Like, he was... Early on, they bullied him out a little bit. He had to pop a Salve at level 1, so I think now once I don't think he dies. Maybe with a rotation though, like you again have a lot of damage that can come through from the blast, and I think if you're ever going to be killed off, it's off the back of Ember rotating.
He's gonna take away the Soul Ring though. Very nicely done by Sweet and Strong as he continues this greedy little journey.
They're gonna go down bottom. Yeah, onto Vatoon. Solo's going to do his best to hold them back. Refraction at the last second. Instantly brought off to the damage over time, but Vatoon's able to reset onto the tower, so... Not seeing only 12 lost hits, unfortunately, here for the Templar Assassin.
Other lane's going generally okay, though. And you know, again, Sweet and Strong's been doing a good job of being able to build up some of these stacks. Yes, he's been taking a lot for himself as well. But that is going to be TA's avenue to take it back. You don't exactly have the strongest heroes on CIS Reject side to go ahead and steal them.
So funny watching the battle of the supports, Solo and FNG.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's a battle of the ages, man. We're going to try and make it a very unfair
What's
2v1.
going on? Well, Vatoon's going to try and step in. He doesn't have the greatest attack range. Roger gets first blood just before Vatoon's able to edge out the trade.
Kind of surprising that the TA just leaves the lane altogether, obviously wanting to get that first blood, but Ramses is going to be loving this.
Looks like Vatoon's just... He's had enough. 12 lost. It's like, alright, back to the jungle we go. And of course, this is the power of the Templar Assassin, that you do farm the jungle at a pretty rapid rate at the early stages. So, but you're giving a free lane to the Faceless Void, and some lanes he can be enabled, some lanes he can be not the greatest, as Depressed Kid. Should get a free kill on Sweet and Strong, but a bit hesitant with how he uses his mana. Doesn't want to play too aggressively, and all of a sudden, multiple heroes poke out. But Roger, look at the backstab, and now Depressed Kid's going to jump. He'll have enough damage for the kills. Going to try and stand his ground with the double remnants. No one's able to turn it back around, but still, how does no one get out of this? He's got a Fairy Fire, some bottle charges to sip on. No one. He's got Solo now coming in the neighborhood as well, so uh-oh.
Gotta be careful, Roger. That Searing Chains is available again, but he said, get out of my lane, Vatoon. Is the refill of the bottle as well?
Doesn't have enough mana to actually kill a Flay's top. Soul Ring on cooldown, but yeah, we are starting to see the Timber slightly catching up with the Chaos Knight's net worth.
Big zip bot. They're going to be able to kill this TA. All that damage over time still impacting him with the time dilation. He's going to try his best to survive, but it's just not going to be enough.
Meanwhile, though, mid lane, that's where all the pressure's being put on. Solo, sweet and strong combined with no one. And actually top as well. Lays, he's getting dive under the tower. So Roger, a much different game for the Shadow Shaman. He's not struggling early, and an early blink could really help out with some of their pickoffs and even just getting a fast level 6 as well. That's something you mentioned about if they're able to get Roshan or even maybe some early towers could really prove to be an issue.
He just kills himself to the tier 2 tower. They're actually looking to make a bit of a rotation here mid with Miro. The Hill Troll Priest, unfortunately, will give up his life. It's just, where's the Dark Troll Summoner? That's what he wants to know is, well, no one's actually going to be able to scout it out, but he takes it away. Bro, you got an Enchantress. Give it to him.
Oh, no. It's like, nah, I see the stack. Come on, this is juicy. Everyone's loving life. Look at this. It's going to take pretty much all his health to kill it off, unfortunately, but he can always just go back to base, come back out with the Remnant, and again, Navi, my oh my, these are some big stacks, but CIS Rejects definitely have a lineup to invade and try and snag these
They
away.
can invade. I don't know if they can snag them. Maybe the hard camp, not the Ancients.
Probably not, but Timber with Pure is... you could even drop Serpent Wards for it, honestly. It's big enough for an objective.
He's finally been able to reach up onto level 6, so he's only about a level behind the Faceless Void, but we have to remember Void did have that tri-lane that he had to split experience with for a majority of the time.
Rams is having a really good time. I think this is Mask of Madness now coming out on the courier. Yes, it is. And
what's next,
as well.
MKB?
Long zip in the river. Depressed gets onto Sweet and Strong, and thanks to the Arcane Rune. Oh, a beautiful rune as always here for the Storm. Sweet and Strong trying to be a bit of a nuisance there, but the kill does go their way nonetheless. And now bottom, Solo and no one trying to close the distance on Roger, but it looks like he's going to be okay.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Bush coming in on the top-hand side as well. Nero's doing a pretty good job of just keeping pressure in. You mentioned that he needed to pop off. The net worth isn't so far, but now that he's reached level 8, he has much lower fears of dying. Actually looking to make a rotation through to him, though. He's built up a lot of that reactive armor, though, so I'm not sure how effective that's going to be. They made sure to rotate just so that they can
mid lane, they're on Vatoon. Uh-oh, the Templar Assassin again farming too aggressively. Vatoon's killed off as FNG with the finishing blow, and I don't think there was much committed on Dire. Yeah, no Chrono, no other ultimates were available, and all that's going on. Miro also took the T1 tower, so this is just a completely different early game from CIS Rejects in Game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, nice little pushback there. Depressed Kid actually running a little bit low. He'll have the mana for it to get that Invis rune.
Miro's actually going to rotate, connecting to FNG. Level 9, so Miro's doing a lot of damage. Looks like he's just going to go for the deny from FNG, but unfortunately will not get it off fast enough. They did refresh no one's abilities before the Coddle died, so now no one's going to have a way to even get Roger. A double for the Ember, and we saw what no one could do in Game 1 when he was enabled, when he was able to snowball. The Storm Spirit was very scary, and I guess no one in particular.
Miro true his best to try and clear this wave out. Even just the micro coming through from the Ripper using the Hurricane to push away Miro. Does mean that they protect their tower a little bit further.
What is Girl Boss Cam? What is this? But there we go, taking stacks, and all of a sudden about to be higher net worth than the Storm Spirit. So this is always the beautiful thing about the TA, and they had the ward to the north of the triangle, but unfortunately this wasn't able to scout out, but mid lane is where their eyes are at.
Actually even kept the siege creep alive in the mid lane, so it's going to assist with this push in. Oh, it's barely on any HP. Reinforcements looking to join. Depressed Kid, he's in the region as well. Could very easily look to connect onto this mid. That early BKB is going to come in clutch for him. They might be lacking in stuns, but he still is needing to be a little bit vulnerable, getting caught out by things like the Searing Chains.
Hero is well and truly doing his job. Defending towers, we saw him go mid very early on. Back to top he goes to prevent this catapult push. And now Dire have a big advantage. 2 T1 towers to their name. Yes, it's only a minimal net worth lead, but having these objectives are really going to be able to open up the power runes, which is something we brought up a lot in Game 1 on No One Storm Spirit, and I feel like it's going to be a very similar case here for Depressed Kid.
Yeah, I mean, you can also see the power runes. They're about to expire for FNG, the ones that they placed near the Radiant Triangle, just so that they could scout out a few of these stack-taking attempts. They did a good job being able to secure the hard camp, at least, but I'm keen to see what they're really to do around that as well, because, again, they had to use the Mass Serpent Ward on the mid tower. Will they look to convert the next one into that Roshan that we keep talking about?
All this going on.
See a chrono though, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. Ramses, he's just free farming, top of the net worth. Javelin coming out on the Faceless Void. And is this a game that Ramses, throughout the late stages, there's just going to be no answer to him? He can be that hard carry like the Void tends to be?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I feel like that's the reasoning partly behind Swedenstrong going for this Orchid build, just so that you don't want to let him get to that stage. And well, they both know that he doesn't like to buy the BKB, so it is a little bit of an advantage there. Maybe even later on he can go into the Sheepstick, so that when he does buy it, it's going to be a little bit less of a factor.
Oh, nice
they catch
from
Roger with his smoke, though.
Oh, they won't even get him. Oh, maybe they actually refresh the abilities. Ramses is posturing the threat of the Chrono. They don't see anyone else at the moment, so they're going to back off. That is huge. NaVi, 4 heroes down for this smoke. They were eyeing up the Press Kid, but Spidey senses tingling. Roger pops the smoke, and this is just huge for CIS Rejects, as they're continuing to get whatever they want out of the map.
Be very careful with how far you go. Actually, never mind. FNG, he doesn't quite have the level 6 available to himself. They're putting a little bit more emphasis on giving him farm, but even then, he's capable of pulling the creep wave away, slowing down this mid push a little bit, and making no one think twice about it.
So what's the big timing we're looking here for NaVi? Because it's still a very even game in regards to the net worth, but when are they truly online early?
Oh, I mean, you've got the Maelstrom now on the Ember Spirit, which is a nice little build-up. You would have to say Orchid, right? On the Keeper of the Light. He's only about 1,000 or so gold away.
Oh, it just drops the Chrono. Onto the outskirts, Ember's caught. Roger with the follow-up control after the Chrono expires, and first one of the game is a success. Getting rid of the Ember Spirit, and the Enchantress will join him in the afterlife, as even by the secret shop, the Press Kid's hunting for more. Doesn't have the greatest mana left available for the Storm Spirit. One more proc will be available shortly, and that is not enough, unfortunately. But in the end, you get 2 kills. Yes, you lose your tier 1 tower. In fact, Miro is still hunting Swedenstrong.
Careful.
Laze?
I don't know if you can fight into this, Laze.
They're going for this. Miro's going to be very cautious. Multiple TPs down bottom. He's going to read this, looking to chains away, but maybe Roger's the one in trouble. They do have a couple of TPs on Dire. Might be needed.
I love that, actually. Instead of a pig pole, it's a sheep, because he's got the cosmetic for it.
Well, see success for CIS Rejects in regards to that last skirmish, but the tune is Love and Life. Of course, he had a bit of a rougher lane, but the Templar Assassin is getting all the farm he would need, working towards that Desolator after the Dragonlance, and just needs one more component for it.
Now, you might think that this is a pub and FNG is raging, but he is just sitting up here on the top side in his Shadow Amulet. He's moving now, but he's looking to continuously move around and maybe pick off some of these people that could be looking to farm on the top side of the map. Of course, he has his tier 1 tower still there. It's very tempting to want to go for that 100.
They're going to run into Solo, who's doing some shenanigans like the Enchantress often does. And Rogers even finds Swedenstrong, which is a decent kill. He's got a lot of net worth on the Keeper of the Light. He's got some heroes behind him to be able to play with, trying to amp up no one with the damage, and Depresskit doesn't really have the mana, so he's got to get the kill and get out, or maybe not as FNG. There's no cancel. Fiend's Grip used, Serpent Wards dropped, and no one killed off with no remorse.
Nicely done, just slowing down no one as much as possible. This Coddle Ember combination, it's effective, but it feels like it's effective when you've got more stuns, more things to really enable the follow-up damage from it. Searing Chains doesn't last forever.
Or FNG, looks like he's just a warding expedition. Locks the no way. No way. Okay, they have detection. They have a stun. FNG, stop it.
It's the space. Space created, that's all it is. Ramses loves the support player like that. Lets him go back to his side of the map, farm up that next item that he needs. Because I do still feel like I wouldn't say they're lacking in damage necessarily, but they need that AoE component, right, to be able to catch out multiple heroes to prevent the Chaos Knight from being that secondary initiator into the team fight and locking down some of the other heroes.
Solo again on his shenanigans in the jungle. I guess it's putting attention away from the T1 tower, so finally NaVi should be able to find their first tower of the game. Maybe opening up a couple more camps and another way for Vitoon to farm, but I think all eyes now are on next Roche. I think that's where you're looking to use the next Serpent Wards and for Radiant maybe to steal it, especially with the Desolator now on Vitoon.
Absolutely. Chaos Knight looking to try and build into the Blink Dagger before that point. Very important that they can get in onto, most notably, the supports. You know, it's at the stage where, unfortunately, you're just not going to be able to take down the Faceless Void with any kind of burst. They need more items. They need more damage to be able to do so.
More damage, please.
Is that, actually, Orchid's complete. So,
Ooh.
could be a factor.
Good F&G. Again, the supports. Oh, he's actually going to go for the Fiend's Grip on the higher ground, and Solo will have no answer, and our Depressed Kid joins the fight. As they're going to turn their attention now to the Enchantress. 2 easy pickoffs like that. We'll answer the call with no one showing up, so we're 1 for 2. Going to try and hold him, but she'd hate to get bashed. Oh no, does Ramsey drop the chrono? He does on the edge. Is he going to have the damage from the Faceless Void? You bet he does. This Maelstrom completed, and into Roche they go. A perfect timing. A kill in the pit, and it's an easy transition from Dire.
Scouting it out. I'm not sure there's too much that you can do about this. Surely you don't expend the buyback.
Ember's
to try
gonna
and
buy
come
back.
Yeah.
Okay, Timber's falling low. You'd hate for another bash onto Miro, but he's able to chains out. Ramsey's now with the Aegis, but they need to retreat. The CIS rejects really want to stick around, and well, NaVi will actually give him the opportunity to get out of the neighborhood. Maybe Roger won't be as fortunate. Hex away, my little friend. Okay, that's a big win for Dire. You see the net worth lead ballooning up to 5,000.
And they actually just had the Orchid reveal as well, but wouldn't you know it, Depressed Kid had an illusion rune bottled, so he was able to get out of it immediately.
I'm such a big fan of that change. Of course, we've had it for quite some time, but you really do see the value of just holding the illusion in the bottle, especially in a game like this. Maybe to get rid of some slows, get rid of the root. Which Depressed Kid, it's actually going to go in the river. Playing with fire is Depressed Kid.
Nah, kick him. He didn't use the Tumbler's toy before he sent it back to the base.
Oh no. Yeah, we've seen that lately. Just for some reason, all these tier 1... Actually, hang on a second. F&G doesn't have the Fiend's Grip for the moment. But how do you protect no one? Okay, well, the Blinding Light does that. Roger didn't want to stand his ground with the chains, a threat of him being killed off. But NaVi, Vitoon is nearby to take his first fight. They don't have really the control to enable Vitoon. He can't stand his ground and right-click. Even Lei's going to move on 4, but there we go. F&G, Fiend's Grip out. There's no answer once again. They're just lacking stuns. It's so difficult for them to take the fights. And now the Shackles, long duration control is too much for them to handle. That's a dieback onto no one, and just NaVi. They have 0 answers in this second game.
This is just a night and day difference between games 1 and 2. You know, really, CIS Rejects playing perfectly together. Ramsey's making a much more aggressive contribution to things as well.
V2 might be killed as well. Look at this. Miro with the Chakram, so they've got Chrono in 5. They probably won't need it.
Oh,
Vitoon. They need to try and get the TAs farmed as possible, but with kills like this, just slowing down his game, and CIS Rejects, like you said, a night and day difference, and they're on solo. Oh no, what is going on? The snowball effect in true form.
This is one of those times where you've fallen behind on a number of heroes, right? And, I mean, they can even see how much of a threat this Timbersaw is. Solo going into a Dragonlance Power Treads build on its Enchantress, realizing that we need some damage. We need to be able to deal with A, the Timbersaw, B, the Faceless Void inside of the Chronosphere, because right now we don't have any tools to be able to do so. But even just talking about Lays, he's a position 3, but you got to give him the farm priority. You need that Blink Dagger to be able to take a team fight and start on the backlines for once this game.
It's so difficult for them to do that, though, without the BKB on no one. It's not like he can commit on the backline, because you have the threat of Hex, Shackles, you know, the Bane control, even Storm, and I guess they even have multiple ways to go through BKB anyway, so it's not like it's going to help him too much. It's really a difficult game for Na'Vi to play in. I mean, they're stalking no one top. Look at this. Roger. Oh, he's going to get this. Oh, no, not again. Roger's doing it all in this second game. Serpent Ward's used an easy kill. To mid we go, though, Miro. Out of mana, but he's got FNG behind to break the combo, and Timber unkillable so far. Flawless game, and he's actually pouncing. He wants to play aggressive on the Tiro, feeling like they have no answer. Yours to disable mid lane. Look at this from the Templar Assassin. FNG. Fiend's grouped out. Rams is able to close the distance. Vatoon's going to attempt to get the kill, but he's unable to do so. They still haven't gotten rid of Miro. Oh, it might be time to call it. The CIS rejects proving to be too much for Na'Vi in this second game.
They're just everywhere all at once. I liked the positioning of a bunch of heroes. I just don't think you could have gone on to Miro at the time. Sweden Strong was positioning himself really well right underneath that ward to block up any kind of smoke attempts, while the CK got closer to finishing up the Blink Dagger. And he did, eventually.
Ramses! The Sweden Strong even tips him. I don't know if that's supposed to trigger Ramses. Like, it's a 12,000 net worth lead. If he's in a position where he can drop a chrono on someone like that, I feel like Ramses is really winning the mental battle there.
Absolutely. Even the Kyron Sanj now on the Timbersaw. How do you kill this man? Haven't gone for the Vessel. Has the Yule Scepter anyway to be able to stop it. Orchid, not going to be impactful. Really does feel like... I was about to say the only one you can go on is the Void, but he's got a Manta as well.
Look at the vision. Again, at CIS Rejects playing with their
Jump,
advantage,
though.
but... Vatoon and Lace?
That's what they
Okay,
needed.
double kill. Both supports instantly gone like that.
That's the big difference. You just got to make sure these supports are there, because without them, the control is a little lacking, especially when that Chronosphere is on cooldown. Just giving the option for no one to be able to go out onto the map is a pretty big deal. He's gone away from the BKB entirely. He said, I want a Boots of Travel. I want to try and shove lanes in as much as possible, delay the game out further for Vatoon and myself to be able to come online even further.
Actually, no one is home. Nobody's home by the triangle. Making sure you are. There's no opportunity for your goddamn stupid
You knew it was coming, though.
I knew it was coming. I'm gonna... I can't have to force myself to think about that. You just... You gotta let me go. Okay?
Never.
Never. These goddamn puns, they'll never escape us. But Radiant... we'll see. We'll see what they can do with this ward down bottom. It's a pretty good ward that's really difficult for CIS Rejects to have an understanding of this being placed. But look... Oh, wait, no one... Oh, no, no one just jumped into the smoke. He didn't know they were there. He had no understanding this. Another zip in. Okay, Depress Kid. Pops a BKB, getting rid of the Orchid, but Na'Vi, they just need to retreat. They've got to get out. Sacrifice one, maybe sacrifice a second as Solo. Oh, he won't make it. Miro actually mid lane. We even see the Templar Assassin is killed off as well. Roger, oh my, like you said, the support's doing it all. They needed the Fiend Script, they needed the Serpent Wards, and they used both of them.
You don't care if you're able to take out this TA. I mean, have a look. I was talking about the split push style. You've got the Boots of Travel, of course, queued up by the Ember Spirit. Even TA going for that Aghanim Scepter.
No one can survive this game, man. They're just everywhere. Like, Sweden Strong's killed off, and that's a team wipe across the map in all the sequence of events. The CIS Rejects, this is a gigantic kill lead. 31-8, favoring Dire.
And it's only going to get worse. You know, with that kill, Roger's been able to pick up another Blink Dagger for the team, so more of that instant initiation. He's level 17 on the Shadow Shaman. It's crazy.
A hero that we saw Eastern Europe put a lot of emphasis on in the regional finals in Tour 1. It was a very exciting pick, honestly, because something that teams were not putting as much respect on this hero, and then we're starting it to transition a little bit more into this tour. We've seen China play it, we've seen Eastern Europe play it, mainly those two regions. Everyone else is kind of attempted with it here or there, but when we can see when you get off to a flying start, then this hero can be very difficult to deal with.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Bane and the Shaman. They're going to be playing a lot more defensively. Of course, you've got the Shadow Amulet. on FNG. You've got the Blink Dagger on Roger, so he doesn't need to be right there in the thick of things. They shouldn't be getting picked off at the start, and even Miro, if he gets jumped, he's got a plate mail now.
Nice reaction. Instant blink away. You see the read though on NaVi. Like we brought up the boots of travel before on no one who might be caught out. FNG again. I'm gonna get that catch.
Always having to run.
Yeah. We do see the read on NaVi. Like the boots of travel on no one. The Ag Scepter as well being queued up for Vitoon. Oh, they're in though. The control's out. Is there any way to be able to protect the Storm Spirit? Depresky gets the Essence Ring and the BKB off. So Storm will make it away. Lazy's not going to have the same fate as CIS rejects. Pounce in the Chaos Knight once he's vulnerable.
So close. Obviously not wanting to put his life at risk there, given that how many times he's died, but no one just hung back, wanted to wait for that second use of the Sleight of Fist that never came.
So they have a read on this game to just stall it out. Delay, try and get to the late stage. Feel like they have ways that they can actually combat CIS rejects at the later stages.
Hunting though. Look at him. Look at this cheeky little Bane with a Shadow Amulet. He's like, you want to come into this lane? We'll see about that.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
He's still there.
FNG.
To the lane. Shadow Amulet.
Dire's bottom tower
No
is under
way.
attack.
No one's reactions has to be pretty good. His Remnant's about to expire. Just gonna slide and get out. There we go. So close on FNG.
He didn't actually use the glyph there to be able to defend it, so it might have given him that extra couple of seconds that he needed. He was hunting with the courier as well, just to provide that little bit of extra vision. And he's got the gem, so just taking out all of this vision that NaVi has. They've actually placed really deep observer ward down here to scout out any kind of TP back by FNG. It's just more and more objectives going their way. All right, what's the win probability?
Oh, don't look at that. Don't look at that. That's not good for NaVi fans.
I can't even say so you say there's a chance because
top
Gaben
lane,
doesn't seem to
Roger.
think so.
He's not going to solo kill Ember, is he? Dude, Roger. Oh. Yo,
No.
sweet and strong. Nicely done. Okay. Got it.
Good there to be able to save, yep.
Solo might be caught off bottom. But again, you're fine. Like, this Enchantress kill
It's
really
solid.
doesn't do anything. He's pushing out lanes, trying to make space. You wouldn't want to lose lanes though, and well, that's going to be the case as FNG finally was able to get one target down bottom.
Dire's bottom tower
Can't make that kind of rotation. The plus side is, you know, the Mass Serpent Wards were dropped there by Roger at top, so you're not really concerned about this tier 2 tower going down. They will know, of course, that the Bane is carrying the gem, so he becomes even more of a high priority for them. Just to be able to get back out onto the map. If they kill him, it's a big net worth swing their way. They take back some of the vision that they've got on the map, but just look at Roger. He's waiting. He doesn't mind. Might say he's AFK, but oh, Yags.
Yeah, they're in. Roger able to deal with the refraction. Sweet and strong once again coming to safety. But Vitoon, he doesn't have a BKB really to play with, so they can continue to chase. The press kid's out of mana, but he
Still
too
got
can just
BKB.
turn around with the BKB, so there's really going to be no concern for the Storm Spirit. In fact, he's looking to stand his ground because Mira with the backstab. He's not going to have the damage nor the control to get rid of no one, and maybe they turn their attention. Actually, Roger's going to jump back in. But the instant stun is there from Laze. So CIS rejects. You give the Shaman away, nothing crazy, but of course it's a big victory with being able to get Vitoon, just continuing to put the Templar Assassin in a position where he's not finding these items.
Finally he goes down. And well, their high ground push isn't amazing on CIS rejects. They've got the flamethrower to address that a little bit, but Ramsey's with that second Roshan picking up the Aghanim Shard. It's going to mean that obviously he goes up there. He's always going to be able to time walk back, just with the Manta style if he does get rooted as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Ramses might just Chrono. Sweet and strong.
He's tempted.
Again, man, these aggressive tips. I don't know, you're 20,000 gold behind. You just making the beast more angry? 4-second stun? They got the Orchid as well afterwards, okay. Maybe you're not feeding the beast.
Don't know if you can get the second though.
But they had 2 minutes 10 left on Age, so again, it's just delay, delay, delay. Stall this game out, trying force CIS rejects to take a fight with the numbers disadvantage and then go from there. That is the main thing, and well, they feel like that time could be now.
Toon's also got the Aghanim Scepter completed for himself, so he's able to roam around the map if he feels the need to. They're definitely going to try and get Ramses if they can. We've seen there that the lockdown is enough if you get the maximum stun there. We do want to see a Scythe of Vice come out, though. As
this
no
could be
one-
the last
no one
fight.
reveals.
Oh, in they
Oh,
go,
the chrono!
Miro. Oh, that's way too much damage. Instantly, they have to retreat out, but two heroes won't have that capabilities. Now they're even hunting no one. Got a remnant defensively. No one's out, but the long zip in. So Presskid playing with the Arcane will not find anyone, as you see. Yeah, you can't take these full team fights like that. You need CIS Rejects to still have lesser numbers.
Just planting a few of these psionic traps around the map. He is Vatoon. He wants to make sure that he can get up to that level 20. He can keep this lane pushed out, but FNG, he's just being a nuisance again, placing this Observer Ward on the high ground, wanting to position himself in the lane to be able to counter out any kind of push that Vatoon might be looking to do.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Gets away just in time. He even went the shard to keep the lane pushed out as much as he can.
Interesting. We kind of only see the Bango Ag Shard whenever you're against Illusion Heroes. I guess you kind of are with the Chaos Knight, but Timbers definitely has a way to be able to deal with him. Another smoke though from Navi, back to back.
Radiant are scanning.
All right, so at 23 minutes, it was a 0% win probability. But it went back up to 2%.
Hero's really in trouble right now. Hero's gonna chain out. And now it's, zip in. Long zip onto no one. They've got a Scythe as well, so how does he get out of this without Sweet and Strong's Orchid to break the combo? He's got a buyback for a defense. Miro is a bit disconnected from the team. They're going to drag him inside the base, but the Timber is not an easy task to kill off by any stretch. He's falling lower and lower. In fact, they do get him. And now Laves with the armor toggles. Oh, beautifully done, but Depressed Kid inside the base. Low on mana, but it will not matter. The stuns are lacking. The threat of Ramses' Chrono is going to hold back Navi on their chase.
He's gone the backtrack as well. So much burst damage coming through from the Chaos Knight, the TA. Backtrack's going to have a good amount of value if Luck's on your side.
This is 3 smokes in the at least past 3 minutes here, so...
You got to try.
Yeah. Roger's
will
in
be the one
prime
to break
position.
it.
Prime position to pop it on the higher ground. Gives Ramses an opportunity to get out. Maybe even gives CIS Rejects an opportunity to fight as Ramses goes in. They've got the follow-up as well. Depressed Kid targeting towards the backline, but no one's getting controlled. The Bash is continuing to rain in. Ramses gets the kill, but it doesn't matter. They don't need the Chrono. They're that far ahead that they do not even need the Chrono, and now to end the game, they'll use it. Why not? The CIS Rejects will send us to a Game 3, and honestly, again, a night and day difference. Game 1 was convincing for Navi, and now Game 2 was convincing for CIS Rejects.
You know the common thread here? Storm Spirit. Ban it out. I want to see something different this game because it just feels across the entire Eastern European region. It's been amazing. You know, Toronto, Tokyo, of course, playing it for Team Spirit and having great success, and both mid laners so far in this series.
Yeah, we even saw the Storm Spirit be able to thrive without really a way to amplify it. No Coddle, no Pugna, no Grim to help him jump, but I guess one way indirectly was take those towers, get that early lead, have all the power runes you would ever need. We saw multiple times the Arcanes be a big help in a lot of these fights, but it's a cool read as well from CIS Rejects. We don't get a look at tri-lanes often, so just the crafty way to head into the second game and be able to, have a very dominant start and then go from there.
Yeah, I wonder if they had their decisions again, would they have rotated Sweet and Strong down to the bottom side? Because Coddle with the Illuminate is pretty decent into a tri-lane, right? You're able to get that Illuminate onto multiple units. Sure, you're not using the Chakra Magic amazingly, but it does kind of force CIS Rejects away. The downside to that is, though, if you did that, they would have just TP'd someone else to the top side, made it a 2v1 into the Chaos Knight, and he's already in a bad matchup against the Timbersaw, and it would have just been made worse.
This is what we were looking for. A Game 3 decider. It's all on the line. The rematch as well. Previously, in the other bracket, we saw Navi in Game 3. It was a thriller of a game as well. They were just able to knock out CIS Rejects. Can they do it again, or will CIS Rejects get their revenge? We'll find out after the break.